Hello, my dear students of class 7. We are going through lesson 1, the book of nature. It's a abridged form of the book written by Jawaharlal Nehru, our first Prime Minister of our independent India. In this text, Jawaharlal Nehru is writing a letter to his daughter Indira. And we have already gone through the first paragraph. Today I am going to start with the second one. I am afraid I can only tell you very little in this letter of mine, but that little, I hope, will interest you and make you think of the world as a whole and of other peoples in it as our brothers and sisters. When you grow up, you will read about the story of the earth and her peoples in fad books, and you will find it more interesting than any other story or novel that you may have read. I am afraid I can only tell you very little in these letters of mine. Jawaharlal Nehru is writing a letter to Indira, and he is saying that he is afraid. That means letter is a small part. A letter is a small part through which he can express his feelings or express what he wanted to say. So that means he is afraid that he can't he can tell a very little part that he wanted to say or wanted to share with his daughter. But that little, I hope, will interest you and make you think of the world as a whole. But he also mentioned that he was very hopeful that little letters of him will make his daughter, that little letters will grow interest in Indira's mind, and she will definitely wanted to know more about the world, more about the earth and of other peoples in it as our brothers and sisters. She will definitely wanted to know more. She will definitely grow more interest and wanted to know more about the peoples living on the earth, about the history of the earth. When you grow up, you will read about the story of the earth and her peoples in fad books, and you will find it more interesting than any other story or novel that you may have read. When you grow up, that means when Indira will grow up, she will definitely read stories about the earth, about the how the earth is created and how years after years its changes happen in this earth. That's all, and she will definitely read it in fad books. That means she will read about the earth. But Jawaharlal Nehru also mentioned that the stories or novels is not as interesting as the history of the earth. You know, of course, that our earth is very, very old, millions and millions of years old. And for a long time, there were no men or women living in it. Before the men came, there were only animals, and before the animals, there was a little when no kind of life existed on the earth. It is difficult to imagine this world of ours, which is so full today of all kinds of animals and men, to be without them. But scientists and those who have studied and thought a great deal about these matters tell us that there was a time when the earth was too hot for any living beings to live on it. And if we read this book and study the rocks and the fossils, the remains of old animals, we can ourselves see that this must have been so. Our earth is very old, millions and millions years old. And there was a time when no human being or no animals or no living being existed on this earth. then changes happen and life created, and first of all some animals and trees grew up. Then after many times human beings started existing in this earth. So there was a time though when no living being existed in this planet, and in nowadays when the earth is full of people, animals, trees, insects, it's quite difficult to think the earth without any human being. But scientists and those who have studied through a great deal about these matters tell us that there was a time when the earth was too hot for any living beings to live in it. So when the earth was created, it was so hot that no life was created in it. No life, there is no proper circumstances for living beings to live in this earth. And when we read the books of ancient times, when earth was created and when how the life happened in this earth, we will definitely come to know about many things, many histories that will grow more and more interest in us to read more about it.